This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by B&B Music and Sound.
Well, some of us remember those recorders that introduced us to playing musical instruments, and you may have a little one at home who has shown interest in music. So where do you start? Well, joining us today to give us a better idea is Harry Boschel, one of the original owners of B&B Music and Sound, and General Manager Greg Ganser. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this afternoon. And you actually brought in some instruments for us so we can kind of see what we're talking about. And you're starting off with the flute.
Correct.
Yeah, and you're going to play a little bit of each of these instruments so we can kind of hear what they sound like. So
sure.
What do you got there? You got your flute?
Got my flute.
Okay, go for it.
Go for it.
Oh, okay. Playing a song about trombones on a flute. Okay.
76.
76 trombones with
Yeah.
the Music Man. Okay, and then the clarinet. Okay, and then we have the saxophone. These are the woodwind instruments.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Very popular. I feel like I'm playing Name That Tune. All right. Now, when you're playing these, what is the most popular? Trumpet's obviously popular.
Well, with the girls, flute seems to be the most popular. When you listen to somebody play yakety sax, they like the saxophone.
All right, and you've got the trumpet here. How's that sound?
Well, I'm going to try.
You're going to try?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Now, you take these to the schools, actually, and do these same demonstrations?
Yes.
To give them an idea?
Mainly to fifth graders, yes.
Fifth graders, okay. And you got the trombone here. I know this one's popular among the guys.
Well, it's a great instrument. Really, a lot of fun to play.
Why is it important to show these kids
Sure.
these instruments in the schools to do
Well,
demonstrations?
I really believe if you're going to try a band instrument, you should choose the one that you like the sound of. And we feel it's very important to play all these instruments before the children make up their mind. It's important because you'll have to practice afterwards. And that means it's like if you practice on an instrument you don't like the sound of, that won't be much fun.
Yeah, yeah. So you've got your clarinet and your flutes. You got the high ones and you got the low ones. You've got different sounding instruments for the kids. Now, I remember, my kids coming home from school after seeing these demonstrations, and they're ready to start playing. They want a brand new instrument. They want me to go out and buy it that night. But I always have to tell them, slow down, slow down. Where do you start?
Well, B&B Music has what we call a rent-to-own program where you pay so much a month. If you rent it long enough, you'll eventually own it. If the child loses interest, we hope they don't, but if they do, they can return it, and then you consider what you paid on it at that point, just rent.
And we'll get you into the conversation as well, Greg. Now, obviously, there's different instruments. Do you start them off on a certain kind of instrument and wait until they get a little better before you invest in another one?
Well, that depends a little bit. I mean, some kids might even start on different instruments sooner or whatever. Sometimes you can start on keyboards or violin or something like that a little sooner than you might start on a band instrument. Usually, again, it's fifth grade or sometimes fourth grade that they'll start on school band instruments, whatever. But a lot of kids do go on to play other instruments as well.
Right, right. Now, as far as the instrument itself, you were telling me that you actually have school instruments that are a little more durable, Harry?
Well, the student line instruments, when the manufacturers build them, they understand it's going to be in the young people's hands. They don't want them to break them right off the bat. So that's the beginning. What the beginners would use would be a student line. There are step-ups in professional instruments, yes.
Now, usually they start at about fifth grade, as you've mentioned. Why is that? Is there any reason to start them any earlier than that?
Well, some of it is a development of the lungs, whatever, too. It's also the physical size and stuff, too. To be large enough to hold the weight of the instrument and physically play it. On a trombone, you've got to reach out, you know, a certain distance or whatever too. So it's just the maturity, you know, of the person in general, kind of all around in that.
What if you got a kid who's, you know, much younger and really wants to play some instrument? Is there any recommendations?
Well, a lot of people that teach violin start them on a much younger time, or you can also start on piano.
Oh, okay.
First grade, second grade, something like that.
And you guys actually offer lessons?
Yeah. We have private lessons on really all the band instruments and stuff that we've talked about, but also on keyboards and guitar and vocals stuff too. And so certainly things like voice you can start at an earlier age, you know, if the child has the maturity to do that. Keyboards, they do start off. Violins, they'll even have smaller size instruments where they'll go down to like 1/10 of the normal size of a violin. So they'll even start 2- and 3-year-olds sometimes on that.
Okay, so we're talking about kids, but adults can learn as well, right? You're never too old to learn how to play an instrument. All right. Well, thank you so much, Harry and Greg from B&B Music and Sound. And if you want to learn more about the different instruments B&B Music has, plus how you can take lessons, go to our website, delmarvalife.com, click on the Show tab. And still ahead on Delmarva Life, we're heading into the kitchen. Today's chef shows us a unique way to serve shrimp. We're making bourbon poached shrimp, plus a great salad to complement the meal. Delmarva Life, life at its best here on Delmarva.